One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome, race fans, to Simtrax Broadcasting. Patrick Morrison in the booth, and Stella is still out on the track trying to figure out how the cheese truck got on top of that bridge. Anyways, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means here at Simtrax Broadcasting. The Racing Revolution League is bound to put on a great show. Now, last week was an insane race. I've called some doozies from up here in the spotter tower, but nothing like last week. Atlanta is where we ended up racing, and you want to talk about challenging. Atlanta, over the past few years, has been repaved and changed, really, more into a super speedway style of driving. We saw our drivers hitting well over 195 miles an hour. After a few tangles ups, it came down to the final 5 laps, but let's start from the beginning. Kevin Orlando led much of the first stage. Ted Rekich, who normally isn't able to race, showed up and took a commanding lead for much of the race. Some drivers who barely got a chance to lead, like Adam Bowden and Kynan Jones, finally had some luck in the front, but succumbed to some bad incidents and sent back to the rear of the field. As the laps came to an end, the 4-Star Industry team pushed all the way up to the front using the outside lane. Leaving turn 2, number 27 of Kevin Orlando and the 00 of Ted Rekich connected, sending both, including James Loveland, into the inside wall. Amazingly, Kevin Orlando was able to recollect and ended up being less than a mile shootout to the finish line. And you might have guessed it, the number 53 Chapman Environmental Services Robert Rader survived once again and secured a win after both of them slammed doors until the end. But we leave Atlanta and oval tracks altogether this week and decide to head to America's favorite road course. That's right, Road America is where we are here tonight. 31 grueling laps to put on for you this evening here in the All About Bugs 125. Located in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, opened in 1966. Debuting, it's probably 1955 if I'm reading that right, debuted this 4-mile track with 14 differently shaped elevated turns, has been magnetizing drivers from all over the world. So let's get right to it as we kind of are taking a peek at these guys here in qualifying. Stella, did you ever figure out how that Sargento cheese truck got up there?
No.
All right, well, good for you, because it's just a billboard, so no fear. It's going to be okay. So, all right, Kynan out there in the chat already. 0 practice before, never driven this car on road before. Boy, you better get those practice laps in soon. Right now, these guys are qualifying. Only about a couple laps left to go. Let's go ahead and get right to it here, ladies and gentlemen, and figure out what we have for our race tonight, what it's looking like. All About Bugs 125, of course. And you kind of see how the shape of this track. Definitely something to kind of keep in mind about what we're doing here. I'm interested to see what, kind of how they get around here. Fortunately, the stage break will be at 10. So these guys are going to run the first 10 laps, come for a stop. I have a note here for a single lap stage caution after these guys have pit. They want to go ahead and not have you guys sit here and watch a caution lap that's going to last about 4 minutes to get around this track. No one wants to see that. We're going to get right to it. So as soon as everybody pits, they're going to get back on track, line them up, double wide, and let's get this thing underway. Fortunately here, Stella, we got 5 sets of tires, so I think these guys are going to, I think they're probably going to use at least 3 of them. Because as you can see, unfortunately, kind of here in the background, we're taking a look at the mountain man here, Jeremy Burns, who's unfortunately, kind of see him skidding out here. A lot of drivers on the track trying to put some lap times down, but it just is not happening here. Very difficult to see what we're gonna get out of this field. I know some fan favorites out there. We're looking to see how Justice Murphy does. We're gonna see how Jeremy Burns does, and hopefully kind of see this thing turn on its head here a little bit. A lot of guys who have just so much trouble out there on the oval course are now going to finally get to show their strong point out here on a road course.
Well, one thing I know that yes, they have 5 tires, but what they don't have is a fast repair.
Oh, man, yeah, especially we did see Jeremy Burns kind of sliding off the track there. We are taking a look here at Parker Johnson. He is shooting down the backstretch here, which will be the longest part of this 4-mile track. Getting a good shot, and it kind of gives you that false sense of security. These guys get up to over 100 right there. I see Grant Thorpe, he ended up at over 170 miles an hour. 176 was the fastest there. John Fike, I'm showing it at 182. These guys are getting just so much speed around these turns and down that front stretch that you got to bring this thing down to about 45 miles an hour to make that right turn. And that really, to me, that's going to separate the men from the boys. That I think is where we're going to see 90% of our problems starting out here. As you know, as they get going past turn 1, you're going to kind of notice here. We'll take a little kind of a. Let me see if I can get that drone out there, kind of chasing Parker Johnson around here. Let me see if I can get him out there. There we go. We're kind of going under the Corvette Bridge here. And there but you kind of see where the sand runoff is, so that is really going to be the only saving grace for these drivers. There will not be a full course caution. Only sectional cautions, which in road racing, that doesn't mean, to me, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a warning to you that somebody's off the track or trying to come back on the track or somebody's kind of wrecked it out here. But that is definitely going to be something to see. If you send it into the sand, into the tires, into off track here, that could make or break your race here, as that could be absolutely destroying, as we see Parker Johnson still going through the carousel here just a bit. Yeah, it seems like Parker Johnson's got a good line here so far. He's now sitting in a solid 4th place.
Yeah, I haven't seen one of these road courses before, but I'm wondering, should I be excited? Should I be very afraid? Because right now I'm very afraid. From what I hear, the whole turning right thing might be, new for some of these guys. But I've been watching the Revolution here for a while, and to me, they are some of the best drivers out there. If it's a road course, if it's an oval course, it's not going to matter. I think they're going to do a wonderful job and put on a great show tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see right now, Parker Johnson puts in his second lap there. Bam! Look at that. Fast time of 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen. Normally we're talking an amount of seconds, but not here at this track. You're going to see a lot of different things. And especially, when we're looking at over 2 minutes now, I mean, these guys, no contest. These guys are kind of out there racing by themselves, racing it over 2 minutes. These are going to be some long laps. So if you've got 2 minutes to mess up, there isn't really room to catch back up. So I would definitely want a lot of these drivers to be careful out here and hopefully be able to give us a good, really good show here. I know this is, like I said, it's kind of a toss up here, Stella. Really, what we've got, to expect out of this. How are these guys going to get around here? Now taking a project car and trying to make them turn right. And, out there in the chat, it looks like Kynan's having some trouble. He had some connection problems, and I'm hoping it has not dropped him out. It shows that he's still here, but hopefully he is trying to squeeze, back together. Hopefully he is able to get back out on this track and get another shot here. I know we like having plenty of drivers. I think we have over 20 that have AOK'd ready to put down here. I just think a few other people may be a little gun shy about getting back here on the track. Let me see if I can see. There's Trevor Earhart. Let's see how he's doing.
He's putting a move on it.
Yep. But he has got to get a lap down here pretty soon. I believe there are only about 10 minutes of qualifying. And he is in the final minute of it. So he's shooting down this back, the front stretch right now, that final leg, and hopefully he's able to kind of sling up into the top 10 here. And he does. Top 5. Not too shabby. So he runs a very hot lap right there and gets it done. Yeah, great job out of him. Like I said, 31 laps here is what we're looking for Road America. And what you see is your starting lineup here so far.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot of laps, but when you've got to concentrate, 2 minutes, 10 seconds per lap before you can even mark one down, that's a lot of tension. 31 laps is still, 125 miles?
Yeah, it's still so tough. I mean, we're looking at, fast drivers like Loveland, Jeremy Burns. These guys are kind of, they are in that kind of that top 10 area. But even, uncontested, you kind of see where, Burns ended up in the top 11 here. So that is going to go ahead and do it for us right now. Definitely excited to see. I believe Road America they have on the schedule. We also have the Daytona Roval, and we also have COTA. So this is not the only road course. They are spread out just a bit for the rest of the season. But let's go ahead and get, right to it. I won't want to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here tonight. Grant Thorpe is going to start out front with Parker Johnson right there next to him. Boy, these guys are definitely expecting to put a lot of speed on the track. Steve Sommer coming in third. Trevor Earhart fourth. Looks like Justice Murphy, we're kind of waiting for him to load in here with Alex Berube right next to him for the sixth. Kevin Orlando, after some messy driving last week, going to have a shot here in seventh with James Loveland eighth. John Fike ends up ninth. And Nick Alves, look at that, ends up with a top 10 start. Excellent. That is going to go ahead and put our mountain man in the 11th position. Jacob Sirkovich in 12th. So we'll see how those guys end up rounding out. Brandon Richardson, one of our last qualifiers here for 13th, which puts Robert Rader 14th. Ted Rekich, glad he was able to show up tonight. I know he was talking about it was going to be a pretty tight squeeze for him to get in here. Al Likens coming 16th. Tay McDonald 17th. Boy, a lot of fast drivers, especially here toward the back, so we'll see how that gets going. Michael Bennett in 18th. Adam Bowden in 19th. And Caleb Gilbert in 20th. I don't believe Alex Kenton or Kynan Jones was able to squeeze it. I think something's going on here with Kenton. He's already in pits. And I think Kynan, unfortunately, it disconnected from him, and that is a bit unfortunate. But we'll see if he's got another chance here. Blake Simpson out there in the chat. I see you there, buddy. Glad you could join us here tonight. If you're in for road racing, this is going to be one of them. Porsche pace car out here tonight. So you guys are used to the Ford or the truck or the Mustang out there, but tonight we got the sports car. So we'll see how these guys get around. I was going to say, I think we got somebody out there. Where's the human calculator? Where's he at? Is that him up front?
It is. I think he's starting on the pole, the fuel calculator.
All right.
Good old Grant Thorpe.
Grant Thorpe, the fuel calculator, right there in the number 77. So hopefully we'll see that Tennessee Volunteer one come in. I am a Tennessee Volunteer fan myself. Shame they kind of ripped those goalposts down, but, I guess if you're going to be dumb.
Children's exuberance.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's kind of like I don't know. You like if you were to win the race here and then just take it at 80 miles an hour and put it straight in the wall. I just don't see any sense in it. But I guess some people have different ways of celebrating here. Definitely a tough one here tonight. Remember, stage caution is at 10. 10 laps will be the stage caution. So these guys are going to have a heck of a run here tonight. I was going to say, we're about to come up, I believe. Yeah, the pace car is really only going to put us about one lap here and really get it kind of tightened up here. Let's kind of see actually where these guys are at this point. You kind of see where we are. They'll end up through that carousel, and then we're back down the other way. So you do just see the amount of time here just for a pace lap. So you obviously see why they kind of want to shave it down a good bit here for their stage caution. But we'll be able to go ahead and get that for you underway here. Yeah. Tell me all about bugs here. Real quick. I mean, we only got about 4 or 5 more turns. I think you got some time here. Tell me about it, Stella.
Well, as far as I know, if your bugs are bugging you, then you should be bugging them.
I love it. I don't like how you even put that southern twang on it. All right.
Trying.
Yeah, we do want to make sure we shout out all of our sponsors here at the Racing Revolution. Butt Kicker, Ultimate Siding and Gutters, of course, and Chapman Environmental Services, and All About Bugs. That is sponsoring the race here tonight. That is interesting to see. All About Bugs. I believe Justice Murphy is a part of them, so we'll definitely keep an eye on Justice Murphy. We know he's one of those fast guys here on the track, so we'll have to see if that 12 car can get it done. Let me see if I can actually kind of square in just a little bit, see if he's got, there he is, All About Bugs.
Yeah. You can also look them up at All About Bugs TN. bugsTN.com.
All about bugstn.com. I'm assuming TN probably is Tennessee.
I do believe so. They're out of Sevierville. Pest and termite control.
Right. And we are coming up to a race start here, everybody. You kind of watch how these guys get going here. This is going to be it. You kind of see the elevation change.
That is one thing you don't realize when you look at all the twists and turns on this track, is that they're also going up and down.
Yeah, so especially if there's something happening over the top, that's what the caution's out there for. It's kind of warn somebody from going in high speed and clipping them. But Grant Thorpe takes that commanding shot there toward the outside and says, oh, Jeremy Burns, look out. Jeremy Burns taking a nasty turn right there, kind of cut off Fike in the 09. Man, that was an ugly way to start that turn there. Everybody, I
Very
think, is
much.
probably
It's almost like he got in a sand pit.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to kind of single file here just a little bit. The key is kind of, you don't want to race side by side here. You want to kind of figure out your spot, tuck in somewhere, and then kind of pick them off one by one. You start getting side by side, running 3 wide immediately right off the bat. That's definitely going to change things, especially when I say that. Look, Jeremy Burns, he slid up 2 spots on that move. It was just so dangerous. But yeah, look at the wheels locking up. Here we go. Looks like Alves.
Look at the brakes.
Yep. These and that's the thing, is these guys are just so much, and it's you can't really see the car past you. It's so difficult to figure out where to be and where to go. But here are a couple of guys with the 4-Star Industries. They're with Robert Rader and Nick Alves back here.
We got somebody in the sand pile.
Yeah, looking to see. I think John Fike might be our guy. And that's what I was talking about. You see kind of what happens. You end up sliding off the track, and that is going to undo it. Undo it for you here. Yeah, something else happened to Berube. Berube might have ended up in some trouble there as well, as you see him slid back. I believe he was also on that 3 wide condition.
He was the one in the sand.
Okay, yeah, that must have been much earlier. I know Fike, we just saw him in the sand and then into the grass. But this is definitely going to be a good stretch of the legs for a lot of these drivers out here. Let's go ahead and kind of see what kind of gaps we're getting between all these guys. Thorpe already getting that nice over a second lead. I was actually had the pleasure of racing with these guys for the Monday Truck Series that they are hosting now out there. And tried to do pretty well out there at Atlanta. But, man, I got bent up there a little bit. One of those cars ended up a few laps down, but still was great racing out there from these guys. But it's so much different. You know, these guys are so fast. It really brings your confidence level up. You know, you think you can do it. You think you can do it. You put it on. You come out here to try to put on a show, and these guys really lay it down here. As we're watching Steve Sommer here, kind of trying to see if he can take a peek here on Parker Johnson. Yep, watch the braking.
I was going to say, he was making up some time on that straightaway.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. As everybody kind of reeling in the turns, I'm just kind of taking a peek at everybody getting on this turn here. Because that seems to be the treacherous one, as Grant Thorpe is off the track. So our fuel calculator is in the grass. He's got to fight his way back out. Loveland's going to see if he can let him dial in behind him. And Brandon Richardson following right there, 29. So now Grant Thorpe, 1st to 9th. Robert Rader slicing it on the inside of him as well. And we know Robert Rader, if there's a gap, he's going to shoot for it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take that for sure, but he decided instead to stay his line, which was more important than squeezing past Grant Thorpe.
Now, knowing Robert Rader, having a little chat with him, he does not feel confident about this track, not even the least bit. So right now, if you've got one of the fastest drivers out here on the track, now's the time to follow him. You know what I mean? This would be the time to slide his way up front. Last year, oh no! Look out! Oh!
Again, and oh, they got by. Nope.
Richardson just makes contact there with him. We'll have to check up on Richardson, see how bad his damage is. But right now, Grant Thorpe, man, I think he is, he may have overheated these tires there. He is having one heck of a time. That's 2 spin-outs in 1 lap. He's got to kind of calm himself down and kind of figure out how to settle this car down. Once you overheat those tires here at Road America, it's hard to get them cooled back down because you're putting the pressure on once again. As we get going, Brandon Richardson, we just saw him slide off the track. So now even more trouble out of that 29 car. Doesn't look like too much damage to the front end of his car. Looks like he does have some scraping there on the right front. These cars are pretty touchy. No tape in the front, so hopefully he will not have any kind of an overheating issue. But it does, yeah, you see kind of the bumper is kind of detached there a little bit right there in front of that right front tire. I would definitely here during the stage break 110% repair that. The last thing I want to do is have something me holding me up, overheating one of my brakes getting into one of these turns here.
Yeah, the overheating the brakes is going to be more of a contention with this than overheating the engines, like on the ovals when they're front to back.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The only thing I would then recommend that if you see somebody, well, like we saw Fike sliding through the grass, is grass actually caking up on that grill as well. And then you're going to run into an overheat issue.
Bowden's in the pits at this time.
Okay, I don't know if Bowden ended up wrecking out here. Let's take a look. See if I can get an angle of his car. All right, let's see if we can get... Yep, looks like a little damage to the right front of his car. Let's see if we can get that. Looks like the tires are straight. Maybe.
I don't think I'm ever going to get used to that.
yeah, the Simtrax angles we got here are pretty tough. I am unsure. Looking at just left and right here, he may have broken a toe link here. You see kind of how that right front is leaning in pretty hard. So I'm unsure at this point, but hopefully that is not going to take Bowden out of the race tonight. Let's go ahead and slide up to one of the other few of these other drivers. Right now, Jeremy Burns on a tear right now. He was laying down some fast times out there on the track earlier this week, and he's definitely feeling pretty confident. He's just, I think what we're going to start seeing come into play is stamina. I mean, you can race fast for probably 4 or 5 laps, but man, just over and over and over again, trying to figure out how to get it done.
Is that focus? You got to stay focused.
Right, and really hitting your braking points, and that's what you see, like those little yellow white signs that are kind of on the fence there, or you kind of see the little notches, is kind of braking points actually for the drivers. Is they kind of start leaning into the brake. Let's say the third one, I need more brake by the second one, I need more brake by the first one, and then they can kind of set themselves up. And each driver is different, but obviously somebody's got to have a winning strategy here. But kind of being able to see, how much track you can use. We see Robert Rader there in the background, kind of using plenty of that area there to go ahead and get as much speed as he can. Right now, fastest lap on the track has been held by Justice Murphy here. And the All About Bugs number 12 Chevrolet. 175 miles an hour he just hit, but his best time right now. Let's go ahead and get that up on the screen. You guys see with the 2:10.57. I mean, that is faster than anybody else so far on the track. Trevor Earhart, very good at road courses, making it, getting it done. But as I was saying back to Season 1, Trevor Earhart actually led, I think, 95% of the laps at Watkins Glen. And spun out in the bus stop, and Robert Rader passed him. So, don't count any of these drivers out. It's still a hard drive to the end. I think just some of them are kind of getting a good feel. Right now, these 10 laps are what you need to learn the most about driving around somebody, what the car's going to do after 10 laps, how long are you going to have this grip, because after that, you know what your tires are going to be at after 10 laps. I mean, of course, they practice, but what are they going to be after 10 laps? What are they going to be? Can I run on the outside with somebody? Can I run on the inside with somebody? And kind of figure out where they need to be to get their way back up toward the front. And it's kind of just, you're having to kind of constantly morph the car and change your driving style for what you see out here on the track. And right now, Justice Murphy is putting on, over a 2.5 second lead on the rest of the field. He's actually going through my favorite part of the track. Some people actually check up on that turn right there that you see Trevor Earhart getting through, but he's kind of he's got a good shot at it and getting around so far here on the track. But man, it's just so much speed, just trying to figure out where to get it. I mean, if you're somebody like Nick Alves, who kind of got squeezed a little bit, and you see him back there almost 17 seconds. I mean, these guys are fast. It's just they've got to have a chance to get back up there.
Sorry, somebody was using every little bit of that caution zone. Is that what you would call it? This red and yellow?
Yeah, more of the rumble strips kind of letting you know where the edge of the track is. Interesting to see. Jeremy Burns coming down pit. Interesting. Now, this might be a good pit strategy here. Not pitting on stage caution. That might be an idea. So we'll see how the Mountain Man works out here, but let's rotate back up here to Trevor Earhart, who's still in the chase for the lead here. Remember, we said it was 2.5 seconds. Now we're almost to 3.5. So
Well, he's still chasing.
yeah, well, I was going to say, we looked at Grant Thorpe and Blake Simpson out there. He's saying, lucky number 77, Thorpe will come back and win the race. We'll have to see. Thorpe has already dialed all the way back to the 13th position. So he's got really a heck of a way to fight back to get his way back to the front. But we'll have to see if he's got anything for us here later on in the race. Fortunately, the stage will come out, and really, I think that's when guys are going to start messing up. These guys are going to push it into turn 1 and probably through turn 4, and it's going to be a mess trying to see these guys accelerate and get their way back up toward the front. But yeah, right there, beautiful turn there by Trevor Earhart. You kind of see him using all that track, and really, the more you let the car go to the outer extents, the more speed you can carry, and really, actually, the less wear you put onto the tires. If you check up and try to stay below those rumble strips, then you're applying more wear and not enough speed. You see Parker Johnson doing the same thing there toward the back. But man, just look at the separation in this field. I mean, normally we see door to door, these guys hammering around here, Stella, and these guys are just starting to really, really separate here.
Well, the good thing I can see, though, about them separating like that is it allows them to really do that, use the whole track, the lines. They've chosen their lines for which way they want to drive it, outside, inside kind of thing. And this, if they were side by side, it would be such a mess.
Yeah, definitely trying to make it happen here. Jacob Sirkovich, he's already bumbling around back here in the 9th position. Brube's fought all the way back. We saw him back there tumbling around with Fike in the final position. He's battled his way back up here toward the front. I'm sure we had a few drivers flying off track here, unfortunately, but we'll see how that gets, if these guys have a better shot. If I'm not mistaken, I think Tynan Jones made it into the track. He did.
It shows him in the pits.
Yep, he is here. All right, so a couple of other drivers out here. And speaking of pits, Nick Alves and Sirkovich is actually coming down pits here.
Somebody just ran into the grass as you went away.
Yeah, we're kind of having some trouble here. I think Michael Bennett ended up getting off track there. Bennett as well, with a lot of these other drivers having some trouble out here. And that's kind of some of the things. If you see a little bit of dirt, you see a little smoke, it's okay. You'll see the guys kind of nudge it, like you see the track right there. Somebody kind of ran off the track a little bit. That's still okay. But it's interesting to see guys pitting so early. I don't know. I wouldn't assume this is a fuel stop.
I would think it's after what we saw in the first couple laps and those few turns with all that white smoke. My first thought was accident or blown engine, but that was them smoking their tires.
Yeah, and really, once you start getting these new tires out here or anything like that, it's gonna be difficult to see. If we maybe get a closer shot here, you may be able to see sometimes these rotors, they'll actually start glowing. They'll start turning bright red, trying to stop. And I mean, it's really something to see these guys try to slow down. In the last 1,500 feet from 175 miles an hour, coming to a stop. I mean, it's really a feat trying to put these kind of cars. These aren't like the Indies. These aren't open wheeled. This isn't, these are heavy cars on top of really low sidewall tires. So we'll have to see how this goes out there in the chat. Kynan, the car is tragic, doesn't do anything. You're a road racer and despise this car. You are not the only one to say that. A lot of other guys out there are really not digging what they're seeing out of this car either. Right now, Trevor Earhart's coming down, and so is Parker Johnson down into the pits. So, like I said, this is interesting to see how many guys are kind of taking a peek. Coming down pits so early. James Loveland's kind of thinking the same thing, so now he's going to come down pit road as well.
I think they've just decided they don't want to be in that short that Blake Simpson referenced out here. It says, ain't got no gas in it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, and we'll have to kind of chat with one of these drivers during the stages, that pit, and we'll see, we'll see what happened. I want to know why these guys are pitting so soon. I mean, they do have 5 tires. They have plenty of tires to slap onto the car. I just don't know if I would be frying them off so early, because if you look up there right at this point, I wouldn't assume it's fuel. Right now, you see Justice Murphy leading by almost 13 seconds here in the race. His car seems to be holding on just fine. I got nothing of showing him sliding off the track. He's using every inch that he can. You kind of see him jumping that turn there. I mean, he's just got the 12 car finally getting his lucky break. of the season. He's been wrecked out just about every single race, just can't seem to get broken away. And finally, we find a strong spot for him. Justice Murphy going to take away probably the stage win here, and be able to, at least hopefully put himself into the winners column here and get him back on track. Because normally, once you get a good race, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, without something catastrophic, 13-second lead, he should be good to go on the stage break win.
Yeah, he could actually probably check up at this point and not kill himself that much to get around the track, but definitely, it puts you in perspective, how many laps these guys are doing. And, just the distance. Just the distance these guys are putting on the rest of the field here is, you gotta, what do I do? I'm gonna have to step up my game. But here we go, Justice Murphy slinging into the pits. So it may or may not be a fuel issue here tonight. Interesting to see. But if they, as the crew chiefs are probably telling all their drivers, right now the leader is in, so that is going to bring in the rest of the field. Sommer, Orlando, and Rader. And definitely look at Robert Rader fighting his way up 10 spots into the 5th position. So we'll have to see if he can hold off. But you just the distance. The distance right now of these guys. Right now, Justice Murphy's still in the lead. Ted Rekich is 37 seconds behind. I mean, Grant Thorpe, he's still 30-some-odd seconds behind. So we'll have to see if these guys can catch up. But here's Grant Thorpe slinging into the pit. So Grant Thorpe coming down.
We'll see if some of the guys choose to do some repairs, and that may, benefit or kill them as far as this distance.
Yeah, now you want to talk pit strategy here. Check this out. We already have, looks like so far, Trevor Earhart, he is pit, but he is assumed back into 2nd position. And Justice Murphy, with a short pit, looks like fuel slap and go, with a 7-second pit stop, and away they go. So Justice Murphy pits and still comes out back into the lead.
Nice.
With almost a 6-second lead over Trevor Earhart here. Excellent job here by Justice Murphy here in the 12 car. Yeah, this is really amazing. Right now, he is putting on a clinic. So both these guys, the only one who I've seen who hasn't pit yet is Ted Rekich here in the 00 Toyota. Here he comes over the hill. Took him a little bit there, but he's still from my ticker here, it's showing he is yet to pit. Everyone else is pit about lap 3 through 7. Justice Murphy last pit on lap 7, and he is still holding out pretty well here. I don't see if anybody maybe have taken right side tires. I do see some a longer pit stall time with Kevin Orlando and Steve Sommer here. But remember what I was saying earlier about these guys kind of switching it up here. Whether to take tires, don't take tires. Do we just take fuel and or not take fuel? It's different to see. Oh boy, we got somebody off in the weeds here. Looks like Michael Bennett kind of unfortunately got off track here.
Yeah, no harm, no. Just as I was going to say, no harm, no foul. There we go. He's rolling again.
Yeah, you gotta love how low built these cars are. Just sticking into the sand like that. It's really a shame. He's got to be careful spinning his tires here, but I don't know if he's got damage here. Looks like all the tires are straight. I'm trying to see if there's something going on or if he's just trying to be mindful pulling onto the track, because, boy, that is a fast part of that of the area here, and that is the last place you want to end up in any kind of trouble. Not really seeing anything bent. Looks like he does have some damage there on that right front. Back onto the track, Michael Bennett goes, and away we go. Also, I know out there, Brandon Richardson, he ended up with an off-track incident as well. I would assume there are definitely no incident counters here tonight, saying that an off-track can cause 2. If you end up, with 20 and you're out, and you're kind of hopping curbs the way you see Justice Murphy and Trevor Earhart doing, they could almost DQ themselves just racing the way they race.
I was going to say, do they consider those yellow and red spots off track?
Yes and no. It depends. Like this one right here, yes. they would probably nudge that as an off track. But, you know, the one on the outside here, where you see Richardson now, no, it is not going to do it. But man, definitely out there, guys, in the chat, boy, this is starting to be a heck of a race here. I think Justice Murphy he's only got about a couple more this lap here to go, and I think we're bringing out our stage caution. See, we got 23 to go. I have to see if we can do anything. I know our fuel calculator out there. Where is he? 77 of Grant Thorpe back here in the 17th position. So Blake, if you are Rudy on that 77 in 17th, that's 3-7. So hopefully some luck will come this stage caution, be able to give him another chance. I'm gonna kind of look for a couple of drivers out here. Somebody we haven't taken a look at here is Caleb Gilbert. He ended up with an even shorter pit time. He ended up with a pit time of less than 6 seconds. So he was definitely a fuel and go. He was not wasting any time to get back out onto the track. With that, it does go ahead and put him, leaving him in the 10th position, starting in 20th. So,
nice move.
Yeah, so right now he's on his way up. Definitely during the stage. I can't imagine anybody not pitting at that point. I can't imagine why you would not pit come this stage, the stage stoppage at lap 10. But these guys are getting it done here so far. Nick Alves, you know, we saw him. He's up here into the 8th position right now. Ted Rekich has finally bringing it down pit road now. So he was able to stretch it out much farther. But here with the late pit here, that's going to change it around. Check who's out on the track.
And hey, Kynan's making it. I would say with Rekich, him coming in now, if you're saying everybody's going to come in at the stage caution, I call he stays out.
It's a good possibility.
And makes up a whole lot of places.
Well, he could definitely pit now. I would say throw on 4 tires and get back out there. And that may be just what he's doing. And when he comes back out, full fuel, and he's actually going to be offset on the pit times, which may actually win him the race. We will see. I've seen it happen before. This could be amazing. He actually stays out, takes the lead. He's able to pull away at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and stay out. He's going to pit before everybody else, which now everybody else is going to try to drag, and he's going to start making up that time on the fresh tires. The key is when his next pit is going to determine where he ends up. It could be absolutely crucial.
But if he gets enough space on those new tires, he can come in like Justice Murphy just did, do a 7 or a 10 if he's got a 30-second lead, and still be able to keep his first place.
Yeah, it's still possible. We will have to see as this one goes at the confidence level these guys have out here on the track, whether they're going to be able to continue to stay out there on, let's say, only taking right side tires and fuel. That would be up to the driver at that point. It's something to keep in mind that the fuel is on the opposite side of the car where the pit wall's on the right side this time instead of on the left side. So it would be more imperative to replace right side tires and fuel rather than normally you're at a short track. Left sides would make you much faster. You know what I mean? Your pit crew's not having to travel across the car.
Okay.
So more wear ends up being on whatever the outside tire is. Oh boy. Yeah, I was going to take a look at that. I knew we had another driver off the track here, and I wasn't sure who.
Yeah, 2 of them there. Going and having a picnic in the grass.
Yeah, that didn't look good, and I think one of them may have been Bowden here in the 83. Looks like he's rocking an LL Bean car, Toyota tonight. Looking good.
No better.
Yeah, you know better, Adam. You stay with that Simtrax car, you'll make it, bud. All right, that is going to bring out our stage caution. Right now, that's going to put Justice Murphy up here into the lead, taking away the stage win here tonight. Excellent job here by him. Really getting it done. Parker Johnson ended up coming second. Trevor Earhart third. Loveland comes in fourth, and Orlando went up 2 positions to go ahead and get the 5th. Right now, seeing dropping off the map right now. Remember we saw Kevin Orlando and Robert Rader pit at the exact same time. Rader has fallen back to the 11th. So we may have found really a soft spot here for Robert Rader at this point. 'Cause
Yeah, don't see him down that far, but remember what I called on that other track? Don't count him out from 12 on up.
Yeah, well, definitely, this is a road course. He has many turns to try and get it done, but really, I don't know at this point what to expect. There you go. There's your Sargento cheese truck.
Does really look like a truck up there.
Nope, just a billboard.
Pretty cool.
Yep. Boy, and these guys really they're putting on a great show so far. Right now, Justice Murphy is absolutely putting on a clinic here so far. I want to see if we can have a chat with him. I'm sure he'd like to be talking with me something better, but in hindsight, I'm not, because I think I've duped him the past couple of races. I would love to have a chat with him, but I think that may end up it may end up ruining his race here. So hopefully we'll see if he can get anything done. A lot of other drivers out here on the track. I think they're trying to catch up to this pace car here.
Yeah, this is a very confusing caution for me. It's
There
like
we go.
it still looks like everybody's racing, and normally they don't let you race to the line. You are where you are when the flag comes out.
Right, but they are trying to catch the pace car, and I think the pace car was a little laggy coming out. I don't know why the pace car wasn't there, and Justice Murphy actually kind of, I think, outran what the pace car was, and the way he went, kind of getting through the final lap there. And what probably ends up happening here, Stella, is you're going to see that it needs the first 10 cars to pass the line to throw the caution. And after the 10th car gets through, if Justice Murphy is halfway through the track, because he's got a 40-second lead on the guy on 10th, you know what I mean? Now I have to wait for the pace car, and it's just, you know what I mean? The pace car ends up coming out much, much later, and he's already on the following lap. So that may have been what happened here, as we kind of see him playing catch-up and check. So out there, you guys see right now where everybody is so far on the track. Definitely interesting changes from what we're seeing here.
It's nice to see. Look at how many cars we're actually getting to see on the track. I mean, that's the first 12 right there.
Yeah, they are mashing back up. Hopefully, we'll see some of these other drivers, get a good chance. I know Berube. I mean, we saw him fly. I'm still impressed with that 19 Toyota right here. He went all the way to the back and has battled himself back up into the top 10 at this point. Berube is back into the 9th. Now, unfortunately, he is 3 spots down from where he started. But, with a couple bang-ups here, he's filed to the back. Jeremy Burns. I mean, he's still hanging in top 10, and we saw him head off track. So, still interesting to see what these guys do, but we'll keep an eye. Actually, who I want to keep an eye out for is Ted Rekich here in the 00. He's falling behind Tay McDonald here in the 73. Ted Rekich last pit on lap 9, so he pit, right before these guys came back out. So we'll see. I'm assuming everybody pits. This may put Ted Rekich back into the lead, but boy, these guys got to catch up. They're starting to get pretty separated here. And if they want a good chance to get down pit road, which you know is going to be on the front stretch, they need to catch up.
From what I understand, they're going to give everyone a chance, and then it will be one lap to green.
Yeah,
So-
you just hate kind of waiting up, I guess. Whoop.
Hi.
So Bowden gonna slip off the track there just a little bit. And I'll tell you what, these guys are still doing, wreckage here, 122 miles an hour. So, they're definitely trying to play catch up here. They're trying to get back up there. It's just, it's a long way to go. I know Albert Likens, I think he's bringing up the rear here. He last pit on lap 11. So he might be up there with Ted Rekich. Interesting pit call here.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Go ahead.
I'm amazed at the speed that you're telling me that these guys are running. Because I'm looking like history-wise. In 1956, they did the NASCAR Grand National Race and all that. And the first one was won by a Jaguar that had a winning speed of 59 miles an hour. The Sunday race was run in rain, so they were spinning out and, hay bale bashing and stuff. But that one had a speed of 71 miles an hour.
Yeah. Right now, from what I see, the fastest guy who ever hit on the track was Jeremy Burns at 181 miles an hour. So, I'm not saying they're doing 181 the whole time, but man, it's definitely becoming something. out there so far. But actually, Ted Rekich decided to bring it down pit.
I'll be darned.
Yeah,
Well, there went our theories all to pieces.
Yep, but that is going to go ahead and put Justice Murphy back out into the lead, which if you were any other driver out there on the track, that is exactly what you did not want to see. That is not what you want to see. You want to get Justice Murphy kind of in the back of the field here. I mean, I'm glad for him, but as another driver, here with that 4-Star Industries team, you got to be thinking, what do I do now? Right now, BDE is leading the charge here with Justice Murphy here in the lead.
We need a refresh or something, though. It still shows him in the pit.
Oh, boy.
And this is a kind of a heck of a mobile pit, if that's the case.
That's all right. Let's see if I can find something to get her squared away here. See if we can give it a couple seconds here and see if it'll reset for us here. Yeah, because definitely don't want... showing the timing is incorrect, but the people and places are correct.
Yes.
Justice Murphy, Parker Johnson, Trevor Earhart are in
Yes.
the lead, but we're still kind of tangled up here with Justice Murphy. Forgive me for...
Why don't you show me lap times versus gap?
Let me see. How about like a best time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last lap won't do you any good. Everybody else was over 3.5 minutes, including the pit stop. So definitely something to see. I believe they're going to sling this one about 1 to go here. See, the lights are on, so I think everybody kind of stacking up. I see a couple more people down pit. Grant Thorpe, Tay McDonald, Michael Bennett, John Fike, and Bowden are still down pit at this point.
Yeah, well, Fiken has been there quite a while. Some of them, I think, are getting some of those repairs taken care of.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't see Fike's pit timer going off. I don't know if he's coming back down pit. I think he's trying to avoid going any more laps down here. Can't blame him. I think a good bit of damage there. Looks like Grant Thorpe's, he's going to squeak his way back out. But definitely, like I said, it's a good idea. Come out here, get your car repaired now, because now is the best time. There won't be another chance here to square this car away, to get it lined back up, and everybody, ready to go. But what I'm interested to see is this is a double wide restart condition. We're going to see kind of what boils down here. To get this one
they
done.
will double wide back up. They will grid back up.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that was when we had Carnage.
Yes. Well, like I said, so if anybody who wants another shot, so when you have Parker Johnson on, let's say, the inside or the outside line here, it's going to be his job to really kind of box out Justice Murphy from the speed he has. Everybody's good friends. Everybody's great racers here, but, man, somebody's got to figure out cleanly how to slow down this 12 Chevrolet of Justice Murphy in the All About Bugs car. He has got that thing on a move, and he's got it. I don't know any other way to explain it here, but he's getting it done. Berube actually coming down pit for another time. Well, if he's gonna go ahead and check out, rotate to the back, but what he's gonna do is he's gonna slam in a little bit extra fuel, and he may be able to squeak out a couple more laps. So, like how we saw with Ted Rekich, which, take a guess.
Oh. This is not good. Did he run? No.
No, something's up. We might have a mechanical error here. You see how the car didn't go, and then it did, and then it didn't?
Yeah, kind of a jerk to the stop, and...
Yeah, I don't know if something happened there. I'll have to see if, kind of keep an eye here on Ted Rekich. What in the world happened? But yeah, he like I said, this may be his chance. Is you come in like Berube, come in, slap this thing with a little bit more fuel, and get back out there. Or if you have more damage, come back down and try it again, which I believe Grant Thorpe, he is going to do just that. Come down here, fix a little more. But I would be highly concerned at this point. I mean, these guys are starting to separate pretty far from the rest of the field.
Even on the caution lap.
Right, so keep in mind, you see here on the track map, the number 12 of Justice Murphy, you see him entering really turn 1, 2, about 3 there. 3 or 4, and he's kind of, these guys are still in the front stretch, so, man, I just don't know how much longer I'd hang out here.
Yeah, he's going across the Corvette Bridge to turn 6.
Yep, so right now these guys have got to tear to get their way back up there. And we'll see how these guys get lined up. Pace car lights are out. Yeah, and they should start double stacking here pretty soon. Yeah, it may be a safer way, as you'll see some drivers will actually kind of sit caddy corner for a while, let everybody, take their time. Sometimes miscommunications happen, and the last thing you want to be doing is bumping on a caution lap. I've heard of guys getting spun out during caution laps, and
Oh, yeah.
it's just it's useless. It makes no sense to do it.
Gee,
But-
even the pros do that.
Yeah, they do. And after kind of that show we saw at Vegas last week, it was kind of shameful what some of our drivers are doing out there.
Yeah, this is not WWE,
Yeah.
Let's just stick to racing.
So, anyway, let's go ahead and get back to it. Justice Murphy and Parker Johnson up here in the front for the All About Bugs. Man, these guys are
All right.
really going to have to get it done.
Then let's get our gap back.
All right. Well, hopefully this thing is squared away. Yes, it is. Look at that.
Woohoo!
Yep. I'll make sure we talk about All About Bugs.
All right. You mean that pest and termite control company?
Oh, yeah.
Those experts for residential and commercial properties? Oh, yeah. And I love their slogan. If bugs are bugging you, you should be bugging us.
All right. Awesome. 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 Yes. As we see these guys kind of rounded out here just a little bit, a couple more laps to go. Keep in mind, 18, it will be 17 when we hit that line. Really, for some of these drivers, are just having a really bad time out here tonight. Top 16 are still on the lead lap. But, for the guys out here who are just not having a good time, now is their, their second chance. And really, they have got to make it happen here and now. So let me see if we can find a different angle here from our drivers. When you see him slinging to turn 1, we're going to get up here in the Goodyear blimp. Interesting stage here by Sirkovich.
Oh.
Boy. Wow, look at that jump. Look at that
Yeah.
jump. Oh, man.
Uh,
Look
what?
at that.
Oh, the inside. I don't know. Would you call that the inside line? The
There-
inside line
yeah.
right now is cussing somebody.
Yeah, they're going to make their first turn here. Let's see if we can get a shot here on the inside of Parker Johnson, who's kind of watching 1 and 2, Justice Murphy and Trevor Earhart pull away. And a lot of these guys, I've kind of rounded them up, and I know some of the admins as well. A lot of these guys don't feel confident out here at a road course, and I don't blame them. Not one bit. I mean, this track especially with an experimental car is just impossible to handle out here. It just takes a lot of concentration, a lot of pushing forward to get something done. We see Kynan Jones. He's still trying to give it a shot here, see if he can get pushed around. I know his race is kind of in the bag here, but really it's still good time to learn about the car, figure it out here. As we're back here in the back with Tay McDonald, who's rolling here about 14th position. As we see Berube and Raider spun out.
Did they have any help, or did they do that all by
Actually,
themselves?
I'm glad you asked, because we are actually going to go ahead and go for a quick replay here.
All
Right from this
right.
angle. Let's see what we got. Oh!
Oh, oh,
I wouldn't say Kevin
Oh.
Orlando sent him on that one. I think he was okay, but Berube also got it as well. Kind of same turn. Yeah, just new
yeah.
tires. New tires, and you can't do anything about that. But that is, like I said, that may seal the deal for some of these drivers out here, as Raider now drops back to 14th where he started this race, and that's going to be pretty brutal for him. Fortunately, Stella, if you think about it, if you're a Robert Raider fan, he does have drop races. So if this is not the race you do really well at, you can drop that race, and if it's your worst race, that it won't count. So what you'll do is you'll sacrifice taking 2 races off. He only scores, let's say, 12 points here. He'll just nix the 12 points and then continue on. Everybody has to drop at least 2.
oh. Okay. Well, number 1, you have to drop at least 2.
Well, yes, there are 2 drop races. So if you don't show up for 2, obviously those would be your drop
Those are your
races.
2.
But
right.
right now, when you have Robert Raider is on a tear for the past few weeks with multiple race wins, this would probably be one you throw in the trash, because
Yeah.
this one is just not working out for him. I'm sure Watkins Glen will do better for him. I'm sure Coda will do better for him. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Watkins Glen is even on the schedule this year. Like I said, it only has the Daytona Roval. A lot of these guys are kind of unsure about, and Coda, which is all unsure about. Amazingly, you wouldn't believe that All About Bugs is sponsoring each one of those. So,
Gee,
yeah,
I can't imagine why, Mister. I'm up front for 90% of this race. If you're gonna do it on one where you're gonna be on camera.
Absolutely. Justice Murphy really making it happen up here in the front. Great job by him getting it done for the All About Bugs car, man. This is I love to see Justice Murphy finally get his break. You know, he's finally able to get away. But right now, Parker Johnson, we'll see if his tires can hold out, because right now, Parker's holding on within a second. So far faster than anybody else. We saw him behind Trevor Earhart when we took a ride with him. Past Trevor Earhart, and is trying his best. I mean, his best to kind of hold on here and keep him within range.
Well, it might just be one of those. Careful, monkey see, monkey do. If he copies his line, he might keep up with him. Just barely over half a second.
Yeah, and the woes continue here for Alex Berube. Just kind of keep dialing back, showing he's crashed. Albert Likens as well. He's ended up in a lot more trouble at the same time. These two guys may have gotten into it. But definitely, hopefully these guys are kind of able to square it around, get it shaped up here, guys. I know it's definitely tough for some of these drivers and where they need to be, but I think let's take a look here at Nick Alves. Alves is off the track. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look and see what happened to Nick Alves. Oh, man, it just wouldn't stop. You could see him hammering those brakes. Clink.
Wow.
So, fortunately, hopefully not a lot of damage out of him.
I'm sorry. It looked like you were rewinding him.
No.
but the other cars were still going by, and his tracks were still in the sand. That just looked pretty funny.
Yeah. We're having some of these drivers are just having a tough time. You see Berube here. He went off track as well. So we're going to kind of go through a little bit of a montage here. Some of these guys are just having some trouble staying on the track. Roll back here, Al Likens. Kind of the same thing. That turn is getting everybody at this point.
Oh, my heavens.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
Got a double.
Yeah, let's see. It's showing James Loveland had a problem here.
Ink.
Yeah, like I was saying, this second section is going to be the make or break for a lot of these drivers out here.
Looking at that, I think he's broke, as you say.
Yeah, here's Al Likens again. Like I said, I think he's still suffering from the damage from the last time. Here we go with Adam Bowden. Oh, man. Yeah, you just see the car just isn't hooking. And I think this is what Kynan was kind of complaining about. This car just isn't slowing down. And I think, I would wonder if any part of this is just some trouble. Here's Brandon Richardson here. Yep, see? You notice how the rear brake is glowing. Did you see it?
Wow.
Yeah, I'll rewind it here. Look how that rear rotor is glowing as he passes. That is the process of his rear brakes failing, and he's got nothing left. And really what you want to do is you want to send all your brake bias to the rear to allow the front tires to spin. And what just happened there is the rear brakes just can't do any more. It's not stopping the car, and they continue to slide. So he's got to be super easy on the brakes or kind of rotate them back toward the front tires to give the rears a break. Get it? Give them a break, give the brakes a break. That way they can try to cool off, because what are they getting ready to do here? He's got about another, half a mile, and he's going to really have to hammer these brakes after coming to a screech and stop. Let's take another look at another driver. Here's Kynan Jones. Man, you can just see you just see it's just not pulling for him.
I think he just said to heck with the pavement. He just kept. I mean, honestly, that's a great. He kept a great line.
All right, here's Bowden again. Man, yeah, and like I said, I'm not trying to show the same people. You just see that it's just no matter what these guys are trying to do, the car just is not cooperating. It's just battling them back and forth. Here's Kenton through the dirt. So a lot of guys just having a hell of a time getting caught back up. Let's go ahead and get this back live. where Parker Johnson is. Parker Johnson is only a second behind and not doing too shabby. Trying to keep Justice Murphy within range. So not too bad out of Parker Johnson in the 48 Chevrolet. I want you guys to keep in mind. Look at who's up top 10. There's a Toyota in sight up here. Except until you get to Brandon Richardson back in the 12th spot. So the Mountain Man's still looking on the outside of the top 5.
Yeah,
Sitting in
but
sixth
Raiders in the
position.
top 10 again.
Yeah, he definitely he's battling his way toward the front. You're trying to give it a shot. Let's take a look here with Caleb Gilbert, Jeremy Burns, Kevin Orlando, and Grant Thorpe. Check these guys out.
Thorpe,
Yes.
77 is back up.
Yeah, so
Outstanding.
he may have learned a thing or two here. You definitely see he does have a good bit of side damage to the side of his car. If these guys have to pit again, I do not expect Grant Thorpe to see a single pit crew member out there with not a rubber mallet or anything to straighten that car out. As we see him taking a quick peek here on the inside of Caleb Gilbert, he goes ahead and dials back. Oh, and there it is.
No.
Grant Thorpe falls back to what everybody else did. Grant Thorpe had a lot of speed and it kind of ruined him here.
All I know is with as many people as been going in that sand, the groundskeepers have been busy putting those straight lines back.
Yeah, well, we'll keep it simulation style, but that is going to move Jeremy Burns up here. Hold on a second. What just happened to Trevor Earhart? I think Trevor Earhart just spun out. Let's take a peek. Oh. Holy cow.
No. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, Trevor Earhart running right there, top 5, and now is dialed all the way back to the 7th position. We got a lot of guys.
He had a pretty good gap if he could do that and still only lose 2 places.
Alrighty. Yep. But Kevin Orlando, check him out. Wasn't sure if he was going to have any good luck here tonight. So far up into the 4th position. So he's up 4 positions as well. But talk about new pace setter at this point. Parker Johnson just turned the fastest lap here on the track. I mean, just barely, but he's right now, he is beating Justice Murphy. And right now, Justice Murphy
just went off.
Yep, just made a mistake, and now here he comes. The 48 of Parker Johnson is now just taking the lead, and now Justice Murphy tenure in the front is over. He's now going to have to chase him down. Fortunately, only within a second, and that's going to do it. But boy, the key for right now, Parker Johnson, do not get overconfident. You ran him down, you made it happen, and these guys right now, I mean, the speed at this point, over 160 miles an hour as they're slinging through these turns. We'll have to see if this dreaded turn that seems to keep taking everybody out here. Once you see smoke, that's kind of it. Parker Johnson, good turn. Justice Murphy, a little more aggressive turn there. Looked how he reeled him in.
He's cut that lead in half.
Yes.
In one turn there.
He is making it happen here. We're looking at Justice Murphy just starting to reel him in as we're coming up right on the front stretch here. See if he's got anything for him. Let's take a ride. Yeah, your biggest thing to watch out there, I see you got, looks like Bartholomew Simpson. Man, guys, we'll have to see how he gets up here. This is going to be a hard shot here toward the inside for turn 1. Does Justice Murphy get a little overzealous into it, or is he wait and take his time? Still holding on by just half a second here. Really a good,
Bartholomew Simpson?
I have no idea. I'm looking at it real fast. What does that say?
Bart Simpson?
Aha. Aha. Ah.
There you go.
Yeah. What is the J for? Just J? Got it. All right. Justice Murphy still lying toward the inside, taking a peek. Let's see if he tries to dial it in. He cuts him off. Oh!
Don't put him in.
Contact is made. Justice Murphy made it back now. What is Parker Johnson going to do?
We are still racing. We are still racing. This is good.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what happens here. If Parker Johnson kind of nudges him on the bumper here, you'll know why. These guys are definitely keeping it close up here toward the front. Parker Johnson really putting on these guys are doing fantastic. I mean, look, Steven Sommer here in the 81 is back 6.5 seconds from the battle here. And behind that is, 18 seconds of Trevor Earhart, who's still hanging out after a spin out in 4th. So we'll have to kind of watch out here.
Man, they're tight.
Yeah, and just interesting to see which one fails first. I mean, this is great racing here as they line up for this turn. Oh, man.
Okay, he's good. They're good.
Yeah, Parker Johnson doing a hell of a job here trying to keep Justice Murphy within range. Good fast move on that turn. But, I mean, there are some critical turns on this track that, are just a make or break for some of these drivers. I mean, look at Parker Johnson. Good turn there, but, man, it's just... the key is once you get to this kind of speed is if you are close enough here, you'll see Parker Johnson actually kind of reel him in a bit and then have another shot, coming into turn one. The only problem is he'll end up with more speed because of that draft, so more braking will need to be applied. And around they go. Man, Parker Johnson, great turn. Shaves off another 10th.
And noticing what you showed us before about the glowing brakes, neither one of these fellas have that happening on their cars right now.
Yeah.
So that's good news for them. Good control.
Yeah, they do at some point. Moderator, do your worst. Take them down. I'm tired of seeing it. Yeah, we're definitely watching the lead here. You see Parker Johnson loosening up a little bit. Remember what we saw in the first stage, so I'm assuming there's a little glowing brakes there from Parker Johnson. There's got to be another pit stop here. And really how the pit stop goes is going to be how this race continues. So far, I am not seeing any tire wear issues at this point. Fast times are still being laid down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he'd made a bad turn, but he lost half a second, but he's still in the game.
Yeah, definitely something to see. Justice Murphy ended up caught up on that same turn last lap, but you saw it battle as they continue here. But man, really, it's what do we have left in store as we're coming down? Only 11 laps to go here at the All About Bugs 125. This is
Let's take a look. Oh,
there he goes.
There it went.
That's the move Parker Johnson needed, and away he goes. So now Parker Johnson's now going to squeeze away. And definitely now is the time to put the distance. He's got to scramble to get away from this one. Let's go ahead and take another look at Justice Murphy. I know he's going to hate me for doing this, but let's take another look and see what happens here. Yeah, just that brake froze up on him.
Oh.
Fortunately, unlike everybody else, you kind of see how they straightened through that turn. You saw him let off the brake to allow it to rotate sideways. And that allowed him to not end up with as much through there. And really, that takes a lot of skill. To kind of work that in and kind of figure that out. Some drivers, you get in trouble, you slide off the road, you kind of, you drop it. People hit the brakes, and it doesn't get better. What do? Most people slam on the brakes even harder. You have to train yourself to actually let go of the brakes and let the car rotate, and try to get this going. But man, just from the rest of these drivers on the track, just the woes continue here. Showing Kynan Jones here.
No.
Yeah, I hate to see that out of him. Really interested to see how this kind of happened here. Man.
Almost like a bounce, and he had no steering control.
Yeah, Berube kind of dealing with the same issue here. Let's kind of take a peek at him. Oh, man.
Yeah, they hit these little rumble strips, as you call them, and it's almost like it takes the back end up enough that they start hopping across the track.
Yeah, so far drivers out of the race here so far. Adam Bowden in the 83 Toyota, John Fike in the 9 Ford. I believe Jabens Loveland, he is broken, so now he is out. If Kynan Jones is able to stay out there, he'll break out of the back farther into the top 20, at least for a 19th position, but still hard charging from the back of the field here. Let's kind of rotate back up to the front, where I think Justice Murphy has shaved off half of that lead that Parker Johnson had here. He had almost a 4-second lead. Now he's down to a second and a half. Kind of looks like Tom and Jerry here. trying to get away, but it's just unfortunate. Hopefully Parker Johnson is able to scramble away, but he takes a smart move. Good idea. Now, here is the key. What do they decide to do during pit? We'll kind of keep it quiet here in case these guys are in the chat or listening to the broadcast right now and seeing what everybody's doing. If somebody takes 4 and only takes 2, that could be the break. If it's only fuel and no tires, that could be the break. But right now, our top 3 are down pit road at this point. Steven Sommer, not a bad choice as well to come down. He may have to short pit to make up that distance of, I think, about 8.5 seconds is where he was off at that point. Right, let's see if we can check out there on the track. Heat on the track is 73 degrees. On the track, air temperature is 64. The wind of 15 miles an hour is kind of checking up on them a little bit there, Mr. Simpson. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. First one out of the pits, Parker Johnson slinging out. And away he goes. Justice Murphy way behind.
Wow.
So, yeah, so Parker Johnson taking the chance here, and look at the gap he has. He's got about 8 seconds on him now.
He's got more trouble to worry about with Sommer behind him than he does with Johnston ahead.
Well, it could be possible. Now, if Justice Murphy, see him with about a 14.5 second pit stop time, he's got 4 new tires. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And those new tires are not happy.
He had more to worry with Sommer behind him.
Man, boy, you know what? I'm just gonna let you call it. You go on, do your thing.
No. I just was looking at the spaces and the times. I'm more of a calculator than a prognosticator.
Speaking of calculator, let's see how Grant Thorpe's doing back here in the Tennessee Volunteer vehicle.
He's in 8th.
Man, he's gonna give me an earful after this.
Don't
All
you
right.
know?
Great job here by Grant Thorpe. We saw him after so many tangle ups. I don't want to stay on him too long. I know he's kind of been spinning out each time I look at him. I hate doing that to him. But he has battled his way up to the 8th position. Where is... top 5. Battling here with Kevin Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. So right now, this is 3 out of the 4 4-star industry cars right here. Kevin Orlando leading the charge with Robert Rader and Caleb Gilbert here. Really, this would be a fantastic race, even if, right now, if these guys, where they are, finished where they're at, this may not be a drop race that I was talking about before for the points. Because you want to save those for ones you got wrecked out on. Something happened, somebody got bent, something... Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, nice. He saved it. He saved it.
Yeah, out there in the chat, Daryl Johnson, why are you not out here, bud? I kind of saw you kind of hung up the racing gloves on the helmet, man. I'd like to see you back out here. I know things don't go well for you here at the Racing Revolution. These are a lot of tough drivers out here so far, but hopefully we'll see you back out here. Guys, check up there in the top. Justice Murphy only about 13 seconds off the lead. Sommer with 10 seconds off. So right now, watching Justice Murphy slide off the track like that is exactly what Parker Johnson needed, as this is going to allow him to stretch that lead. But, when we're looking at over, 32 miles before the end of this race here for these guys to kind of squeeze it away, there are a lot of mistakes that can happen. So if Parker Johnson keep his head down, keep solid times, he should be able to go ahead and pull out the win here tonight. And that'll actually be really a fantastic thing, as I don't believe Parker Johnson's won a race yet this year. So this will be awesome to lock him into a playoff standing point out here on the track.
Oh.
So I take a look here through our points. I think that's kind in there in the back end. Yeah, I think so. Parker Johnson right now sitting in the 12th position in points. Competed every race, but has one top 5, a couple of top, another top 10 after that. So we'll see what happens, what else we have in store for the rest of these guys out here tonight. So far, Kevin Orlando, Robert Rader staying together. And interesting to see Rader kind of come back after just slinging off the track there. Caleb Gilbert is just kind of saying, buddy, I feel the pain. I know exactly what you're going through, and I think these guys are just communicating. Let's just survive. And the key is to sometimes road racing, just like Parker Johnson. Pushing is good, but there's a certain amount of pushing. You've got to take your time, and you've got to get around the track here. just and safely and easily, and just being able to make sure you've got a good position from where you're going to be to finish out this race. Because sometimes here, Stella, it's just survival. You've just got to make it to the end, and we'll be able to really come out with a great position. As you can see, Orlando Raider, Gilbert. I mean, heck, even look, Grant Thorpe leading the race. He's still going to end up with the top 10 here as long as he can stay clean. The Mountain Man, he's right there in ninth place,
Yep.
still a top 10. Right now, Sirkovich, in probably one of the best spots he's been all year, is going to have a chance, and that all you got to do is just try to stay and maintain, a good spot. If Sirkovich can stay here, back here in the 10th position, this will actually be his first top 10 of the year, and what a better time to actually squeeze that in. But man, he's got to watch out for Brandon Richardson, because I know he's a fast driver, so he's got to kind of keep out there.
And Nick Alves is on his heels too.
Oh yeah, well that'll be the final guy from the 4-Star Industries group. Nick Alves definitely having a lot of trouble, and we'll see what kind of what happens. I don't want to kind of spoil it for some of these other drivers out here, but a lot of other guys having some trouble. All right, out there in the chat, I want to look at that. Bowden Motorsports, you made a point to run a different paint scheme tonight. Nah, bud, I don't mind. Any sponsorship is a good sponsorship, man. I love seeing my logo and the paint scheme that you run out there every week, man. Regardless of whether you're leading or in the back or if you're sitting in pit, totaled out, bud. I love seeing it on your car, so don't give up on me here, bud. But all right, let's see who else out there in the chat.
Sweet.
Daryl Johnson, 81 is coming if he has just enough laps. We'll see. Sommer's still holding off there, about 10 seconds off Parker Johnson. Still a long way to go here for Steven Sommer, and really it'll be a good shot for him. Let's take a look here back at the points. He does have one top 5 finish and one top 10 finish out of that. So, right now he's sitting 22nd in points. He finishes second here. This could sling him well into about that 14th spot area, which is fantastic, right around that Justice Murphy, Tay McDonald area. But,
yeah, let's take a look back. I think we've got some action going with Nick Alves and Richardson.
I do believe so. Let's go ahead and take a look back here. First, it started with Grant Thorpe. Let's take a look at Grant Thorpe, kind of see what happened to his car. I know we're kind of showing everything in that Michelin show. Oh, whoa!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely locked up the brakes there. We'll kind of keep an eye on him here in a second and see if Richardson ends up slinging in. Nope, let's see. All right, let's go ahead back to Nick Alves. Same turn. There's Richardson in front of him. Look at them both. Oh, boink.
Oh.
Boy, that was a bummer. Let's see. Ted Rekich. We got an off track by Ted Rekich, so it's just kind of stacking up more and more and more. Oh, what in the world?
Oh.
iRacing gave up on him. He couldn't compute.
Oh,
Oh,
that
boy.
was crazy.
All right, let's go
Yeah.
back here. Kynan Jones, the woes continue here. Still charging his way forward. Yep, once
Nope.
again, that same
Oh.
turn, just not rotating for him. So far, he's
Wow.
worked himself up into the 19th position. Here's Al Likens. Boy, I hate to do it for some of these guys, but it's a little something going on. As you just see how tough it is. It's just that you just got to have those breaking points down. And right now, these guys up here in the top 3, they know exactly what they're doing and getting it done. Parker Johnson staying out front, 6 to go. Taking a look here at Nick Alves, who's here in the 11th position, trying to see if he can run down Sirkovich. But man, he's got some distance on him. He's got to make up about 5 seconds to catch him.
I think Berube was just getting squirrely behind him too. Yeah, there's so many moving parts. Duh. Sorry. But you've got your brakes you've got to worry about getting too hot. Then you come and your tires don't wear, but you change your tires and now your tires are too new. And it's just, and then you're breaking points, your lines of driving. It's just, I think there's a fatigue factor because we were doing much better in the first 10 than they were after that stage break.
Right, you are. Let me see if we can find anybody that is pretty close. Who do you want to see? You want to come back up here to Kevin Orlando? Let's see how he's doing. He's back to the 6th, so it looks like Robert Rader passed him. So squeezed up there for a 5th position.
All right.
Yeah, talk about that. Robert Rader still squeezing out a top 5 here. Right now, our highest mover of the race is Caleb Gilbert in the 40 machine. He's up into the 7th position. We saw him before for the 4-Star Industries here, getting
Where did he start?
He started 13 positions back, so he started back in the 20th.
Wow.
Now sitting here with the top 10. So he can't complain. Can't complain.
Well, there's always that person.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I know. There are a couple of guys out there just they just say this car just isn't rotating. I know. Even kind of really the big guys out there that you see running these races every single night in the pros, they hate this car. It's an awful design. It's hurting guys now. It's a terrible tire design, and here in the simulation, I think they're doing a pretty good job just kind of saying it won't do things because it won't.
Yeah, that's so obvious. They are turning their wheel, and the thing just goes straight ahead into the tires.
Yeah, it's just too much. And if you kind of consider tires can only do one thing. Tires can either steer or they can brake, and it may be kind of difficult to kind of comprehend. I'll try to. Tires can only do so much. If you want them to steer, they'll steer 100% if you steer the car. If you want them to brake, then when you brake, you can use 100% of the grip of the tire to brake. Now, if you're braking and turning, that now splits at 50-50. So it's only going to brake 50%, and it's going to steer 50%. So the key is to brake before the turn, let off the brake, and then turn. That way you can allow more grip to turn and less on the braking, if that makes any sense.
I've never been a fan of mansplaining, but that made one hell of a lot of sense.
Okay. So what you see is some of these guys when they get into the turn, like you see how he's stopping here? He's letting off the brake and letting the car rotate through the turn. And that's how he's able to contend. So when you see some of these guys, unfortunately, when they get up to that turn, it'll have more speed than they expect. And it's, I'm going too fast. When it's time to turn, we're hitting more brake, and that's where you're seeing the tires lock up, and they're sliding through the, through some of these turns into the sand and sometimes into the tire barrier. Don't get me wrong, I am in no way, shape, or form any good at road racing. I can't figure it out to save my life. I think my braking points are all terrible, but I brake way too early, and then I try to fire through the turn too fast and end up spinning out. But, but right now, somebody to learn from, Parker Johnson. We'll kind of keep an eye on him as we cut away to a commercial here real quick. We'll be right back as we hear right from the Racing Revolution sponsors.
For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
And so we had an issue at a plant about 2 weeks ago. It was a traditional municipal wastewater treatment plant. Tremendous foaming on top of the basins. And so me and our lead operator for the site got our heads together. We pulled some samples, did the analysis of those samples. We actually looked at the bugs from the system under a microscope so that we could see the type of bug that was actually growing in there. And what we found actually was that there were very few bugs growing in there. The higher life forms in particular had died off, and we had the the single cell protozoa type of bacteria growing in there. So what that told us was we probably got hit with some kind of toxic shock at the facility. So we immediately changed the way we were operating the plant. We changed the return activated sludge rates, the wasting rates, and did a few other things around the facility to try to really buffer ourselves against whatever had happened, because it's too late, right? It's already in the plant. So we're trying to buffer ourselves against whatever that toxic event was, because if it just happened, yesterday, it's liable to happen again today. Usually these things go in like threes. And so it's taking real world experience, knowing that we not only needed to look at the analytical data that we were collecting at the time, but also looking at the bugs under the microscope, determining what's going on with the bug population in the aeration basins, and then taking that information, layering that together with the data we collected through analytical analysis, and coming up with a solution based on all that combined, which I think is a pretty unique approach to dealing with a problem like that at a facility.
Everybody, appreciate you hanging in there with us through our sponsors there, Butt Kicker, Ultimate Siding and Gutters, and Chapman Environmental Services. You kind of see what all these guys have going on here. Parker Johnson still out in the lead, still putting on a great show here for us so far. He's only got 2 laps to get it done here. Really, Stella, from what I'm seeing here so far, with a 12.5-second lead, I think he's pretty much got this one here in the bag.
Oh, don't ever say that. We thought Justice Murphy had it too, because he was way out there in front. But one turn. This is a race where one turn could make the difference.
Yeah, looks like also the mechanical problems happen for a lot of other drivers out there. You were saying nose tap from Bowden. He says everything messed up there. John Fike was saying the same problem. Let's take a look here. Right there, Ted Rekich, brake pedal, decided it was just constantly locked at 20% throttle for some reason. Not sure what was going on with that, but it was a painful experience. Yeah, it's I understand. That's kind of what we were looking at there, Ted, as we saw you kind of coming into pit road and couldn't figure out why your car actually kept stopping on you there. But hopefully you were able to get that worked out, kind of get those things calibrated, and get that one squared away. I want to rotate back actually to Sommer, as we see Sommer's actually falling back to the 4th position. Let's see what happened here to his vehicle. Oof. All right, let's actually let me see if I can rotate back a little bit farther and see what in the world happened here. Because I do not know if any of this was assisted. Want to kind of see up there, you see toward the top of the screen, you actually see that's Tay McDonald up there toward the top. I don't know if something happened or oh yeah, he just got way too hot. Boy.
Have you noticed that some of these guys I almost are a victim of seeing what the other fella did. It was like, he's off, and away he goes. It's not is it a rubbernecker issue?
No, yeah, you just kind of, remember what I was saying about those white tags on the side, is you kind of stay concentrated on hitting your marks, as we see, looks like Bowden's off the track there again. Poor guy, man, what a race. He's having a heck of a time here. If that is not him, I believe that may have been Alex Kenton.
I was going to say, that was not Bowden, he's out.
Excuse me, yeah, that was Alex Kenton in the 89 Chevrolet. Yeah, sorry, the 8 in the front kind of caught me off guard. Right now, Parker Johnson, let's not spoil it for him, as right now he is still leading by 14 seconds over Justice Murphy here. And really on the last lap here, he's making it happen. I mean, just a fantastic race out of him tonight. And you kind of see how he's checking up now. He's being real easy into these turns. There's kind of off in the weeds. Man.
I was going to ask you, what happened to Sommer? Because he was in 4th, but he just worked himself back up to 3rd place again.
Yeah, I'm not seeing, it looks like Trevor Earhart may have slung off the track as well. Let's take a quick peek at that before Parker Johnson heads across the line here. Right there.
Ah.
Yeah, Trevor Earhart kind of gets slung around there. Bummer for him. It looks like, Yeah,
Did not hurt that bad.
Nah. Right now is they're making it happen. Parker Johnson still man on the move. But let's rotate back here to actually Earhart and Sommer. I think these guys are getting ready to start heating up this for that third place. One of these guys wants to talk to me here in the booth, I'm sure. But we'll see how bad. Trevor Earhart going to have a heck of a shot here. Justice Murphy secured a second place. Parker Johnson is going to bring Ray the race win here so far. Man, oh man, oh man. Making it happen here. Let's see. Because now this is kind of the turn. This is the one that catches everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Let's rotate to the top. Looks like everybody's stuck.
Nice. Good.
All right. Parker Johnson has cleared the line. That's going to bring Justice Murphy into second. Battle for third is still ensuing here. And this is the treacherous turn for Trevor Earhart. We saw him slung off the track not once, but I believe twice this race. And he sticks it.
He's got this. He's got this.
And that is going to bring home our third place finisher here tonight. Trevor Earhart in the number 21 Chevrolet. Right now, Chevrolet's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Steve Sommer. Oh boy, Grant Thorpe, hold on. You see Grant Thorpe trying to make a run there with Kevin Orlando. Just was unable to get it done here.
But it's nice to see him up in 6th. I mean, that's a top 10 finish.
Yep, Caleb Gilbert here. Looks like Robert Rader still fighting that 53. Fighting that, but just Jeremy Burns having anything for him. Here we go.
Yes.
Come on over the hill. Where are they? Oh, Jeremy Burns got him.
He did.
Jeremy Burns squeaked it out there right at the end.
And your Sirkovich is making his first top 10 debut.
Yes, he is. Let's see if I can find a good top view of what these guys battling out here toward the end.
Yeah, because the camera switched over just as he made his move.
Yeah, we were battling kind of the elevation here, kind of getting it squared away. I didn't like the way that looked. Kind of looked kind of crummy. Let me see if I can find us another angle here. Let's take a look right here. Jeremy Burns trying to reel him in. Got a good turn exit here. Reels him in. Oh, come on. Yeah, just kind of slung around the outside here. Let me just right to it.
Well,
somebody I can trust. What? Oh,
Rader,
was there any contact?
Well, Rader went off just a tad on this turn, and that gave Burns the opportunity to make the move.
Yeah, but I think there was contact here. Watch. Oh, Rader tried to block. He tried to block. And no dice. Jeremy Burns is going to slide forward for that number 8 position. And he got him. Wow. That was awesome.
Oh, listen to you. You sly go.
Boy, that does bring Parker Johnson as a race winner here tonight.
Yeah, and Bart Simpson out there is saying, let's see the burnouts.
Yeah, I'm looking to see. I don't see him doing any here at this point.
Uh-oh. He's too busy getting in the booth so he can have his have his interview.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to come down here and join me. We'll see how this one gets going here.
Well, they're in the waiting room.
I know. We'll have a little chat here with Parker Johnson here in just a little bit. I think he's got to get through the rest of his burnouts, and then we'll have a talk with him. But first, we'll get through 3 and 4 here, or 2 and 3. Excuse me. I am not seeing. Come on. I think Parker's going to go ahead and nix it here for the burnouts. Let's go ahead and roll it back here. Heck of a race bar of drivers out there tonight. And third place. Third place comes in with Trevor Earhart in third place in the 21. Got it done, man. All right. What a wild race this was, dude. You were able to hold on for a third place finish. You're strong at road courses. Is this kind of how you wanted it to go?
No, not at all. I'll take a third, especially after the night that I just put out there. I mean, that was just abysmal on my part. Too many little mistakes there. I think we could have been battling up there with Parker and Justice all night long. Just, you got to keep the car on track, and couldn't do that tonight. Just was over aggressive when I didn't need to be, and happy to come back and get a third. Was having a great little battle there with Justice, and again just made a dumb mistake into turn 2, got in the grass, but was able to hold off Steven there to get a top 3. But overall disappointed in myself, but happy to walk out with the third, and super ecstatic for my teammate Parker to get his first win in the league and first win in league racing period. So congrats to Parker. He drove a hell of a race tonight, and Loveland was having a good run too. Unfortunately, bad luck struck him. So all 3 of the TSR cars were looking pretty good tonight. But you know what? We'll take a 1-3, and we'll see Loveland next week. I'm sure he'll be pumped and ready to go for next week.
Yeah, especially next week being Pocono. We leave the super speedway of Atlanta. We come to a road course, here at Road America, and then we go to the Tricky Triangle. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But dude, how in the world? What was the biggest problem you noticed with the car out here tonight? Was it braking? Were you having a steering problem? How was the fuel consumption? I mean, tell me a little more about what was going on with these cars out here.
I felt really comfortable with the car. You had to get your throttle blip just right to get it down into gear. And there were a couple times I was just being too aggressive, trying to get too much, and I couldn't get it down into gear. And when you don't get in the right gear, it just plows. And I went off in the final corner. Because of that, I went off in turn 2 when I was battling Justice because I couldn't get it down into second quick enough. But fuel consumption wise, right there at the checkered, it was going to be close. I think I crossed the line and ran out in turn 1 going to 2. I think Parker was able to make it down to 4. So I mean, we were all pretty close. It was about a 9 lap run on fuel, I believe. So it was close, but it was fun. These cars are a lot of fun to drive around road courses, and when you don't make mistakes, you can really put on a good show. And I think Justice and Parker showed that. They had a great little battle up there, and unfortunately, we weren't able to partake. But hey, we got a couple more road courses coming up. Looking forward to them.
Yeah, it will be a little farther. I'll admit they'll be a bit farther down the line from where that will end up being. Right now, I see you sitting second in points. So this is actually going to be perfect for you. Sliding up as Robert Rader unfortunately dials back to the 9th position. He's going to have to now kind of fight and reel you in. I believe you're only 67 points behind. So I don't know if that makes any difference to you, man, but still wild race here tonight. Tricky Triangle is next. Confidence level there, bud.
I feel pretty good. Obviously last season we got the win in the Xfinity car due to some carnage, but I felt like we had pretty good pace there last season. So, Pocono's like a road course. I mean, 3 completely different corners. You're never going to get all 3 of them right, but if you can get 2 of them right and get that last one fairly close, you're going to be fast. So I look forward to it. Definitely going to have to regroup after this poor performance. But hey, I guess you can't really complain about a 3rd place. And as for the points with Rob, I mean, it'd be nice to be the regular season champ, but I'm just trying to collect playoff points. And as many stage points and playoff points as we can get going to the playoffs.
I understand. All right, Trevor Earhart, fantastic job tonight, man. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs, and let's get you on the way.
Yeah, shout out to you guys for the great broadcast as always. Shout out to everybody in the league, all us admins, everybody that's involved. Shout out to the Earhart Group for being on the side of the car and last week's sponsor. Shout out to my mom and dad watching at home, my grandparents and aunt and uncle watching down in Houston, and all my friends and family that watch every weekend or every week, and all the league sponsors, and then a huge shout out to my teammate Parker for getting his first win.
All righty, and we'll get to Parker here in just a little bit, but fantastic job tonight, Trevor. We'll catch back up with you, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Trevor Earhart, everybody, and we're going to rotate actually Justice Murphy down here next, who ended up in the 2nd position here. Really quite the battle out there so far. Man, I thought you might have had the win here tonight.
Yeah, I just kind of screwed myself there on the last pit stop, so it's one of those things that happens when you don't have a crew chief up on a box for you.
Yeah, it was definitely something that happened, man. And really, I thought the 4-tire pit stop might have been a good call. I think you just kind of spun out right after that, and it kind of really undid it for you there, and you just weren't able to recover. Is the pit stop the only thing that you could have done to kind of switch this up for Parker?
Yeah, the pit stop was it. The play in this car, these tires don't wear on the road courses. It's like that. In real life, it's about as realistic as the sim can get. I know the Roval a couple weeks ago, we were running 55 laps in NIS without changing tires. So Tires were not the play, but got caught up during the stage caution, clutching to save so that we could make it on just one stop in the second half of the race there, and forgot to uncheck the tires. So just my bad. I know the lap before the green flag pit stop, I had gone off track, was like 2.6 behind Parker. And when we got to pit road entry, I was 0.3 behind him. So I was right back on him. It was going to be a good battle, but sometimes you just don't do it right enough. You do 90% right, and that other 10% is what gets you.
All righty. Well, hopefully, I'm glad at least some of your luck changed around here so far at the All About Bugs 125. Man, something, you sponsor the race and you're able to get up there for a top 3 spot, man. You really did a great job. But we're looking here at Pocono next week. I know I think you got tangled up last season in the big wreck that ended up happening. How confident are you feeling this year?
And I love Pocono, but the last two races that I've run there in league races, I got landed on once in a pack. The guy hit the wall, flipped up in the air, and landed on me. And then last season got caught up in the lap 3 incident with Rob and Kevin. So was kind of behind the 8 ball the rest of the race at that point. So just hopefully can kind of stay out of the rest of the mess. That's kind of been the story of my season, is not necessarily hurting myself, but just being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
All right, man. Justice Murphy, go ahead and give me your shout-outs, man. Let's get you practicing for Pocono.
Yeah, big shout out, of course, All About Bugs sponsoring the race. It's my race to sponsors. You can tell by the car. So, that's my place of employment. My dad owns it, so it's really fun. But shout out, shout out to my teammates, Grant. Grant's not technically on my team, but I still consider him a teammate. Jacob Bennett, those guys. Shout out to you guys for a great broadcast every week, buddy.
Cool, appreciate it, man. All right, Justice. Well, get going for Pocono. Once you're doing well, don't let it get away from you.
Yes, sir. See you next week.
All righty, Justice Murphy, everybody, and really great race out of him so far tonight. We'll have to see if he's got anything for us come Pocono. Now, man, I want to go ahead and look here at Parker Johnson really bringing away here the checkered flag here at the final lap. Really got it done. Great job by him here tonight. Boy, man, he's got to be super excited. I know he gets a little nervous about coming up here and talking to me, but he can't get away from me this time. And Parker Johnson, man, really, you're here. You got to talk to me now, man. Tell me about your race here tonight.
That was amazing. I'm speechless.
All right. Well,
before this race, I was worried about losing or wrecking, because I seem to do that a lot, but I didn't.
All right, man. Well, look, your first race win, and from what Trevor's telling me, this is your first league win. Here you are up in the front. Dude, your confidence level's got to be soaring at this point. Seeing where you are in the points, now this is your chance to actually start turning your luck around. From 12th place, this should sling you up into a solid top 10. And something to keep in mind is this locks you into the playoffs.
I'm amazed. I wouldn't have thought this would happen anytime soon.
Man, but you did, and you got it done, man. Dude, what a fantastic job you did here tonight. Really, we kind of watched you and Justice Murphy kind of duke it out there for the past, 15 laps or so, and really right there kind of after the stage. It was a heck of a run by you there. Getting it done. And I think a lot of guys out there are pretty proud of you, being able to see that 48 car bring home the win. You try every week, and sometimes just like Grant Thorpe, just like Justice Murphy, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But this time is your time to shine, and you come away here with the win. Really, the two of you guys battling it out for so many laps. Were you just waiting for him to slip up, or was there a certain soft spot you knew you could attack?
Yeah, I was just waiting for him to mess up, and it happened, and it worked out well.
All right, man. Well, taking a look here real quick back at the pit stop time of only 8 seconds. Justice Murphy had a 14-second pit stop time, so obviously he took all 4 tires. Did you end up taking tires on that last pit stop?
I did not. After I watched a few online races on YouTube before the race started, and nobody took tires. So I went with that and didn't take any tires.
What? You took your strategy off YouTube?
I did.
YouTube has the answers for everything.
Holy
It
cow.
does.
I thought people fixing cars on YouTube was bad. You're
But
right.
then I also listened to my teammates who also said don't take tires.
Yeah, what you can and can't do. And, I noticed sometimes on the new tires, but really you guys didn't have any fall off. I mean, you were the fastest one on the track all night. Your best time was a 2-minute, 9.5 seconds. So, I mean,
I did not know that.
yeah, you were the fastest. The closest one was Justice Murphy by about 0.06 of a second. After that, it was Trevor Earhart, but he just barely, he was behind that. I mean, you were just, like I said, you were the only guys. You, Justice, and Trevor were the only ones to break into the 209s tonight. So,
God.
yeah, dude. So, I was going to say, so right now, I mean, don't hang your head, but dude, raise your head. This was a hell of a race here tonight, and you really put on a great show. As not just fast, you had your braking points right. Your steering was perfect. You got to be going crazy right now. I know you're kind of speechless at this point, but I'm going to let you take it away here with your final thoughts and give me your shout outs.
I want to give a shout out to obviously my sponsors and my grandparents who are watching from Florida and Hawaii, and my teammates. Love you guys, Trevor and James Loveland, and thank you for doing our broadcast. You do an amazing job.
All right.
That's it.
All right, fantastic there, Parker. You'll get used to this, man. You'll loosen up once you get in the booth more. One win under your belt here so far, and there's more to come, man. You got Pocono coming up, so I know you're fairly good at Pocono, so take it easy. To me, if I were you, soak this win in, and you got to keep your head down and keep charging forward, because Pocono is up next week for the Coastal Financial 200. You got 80 laps to get it done, man. Try to keep on a good roll here.
I'll try.
All right,
And
Parker.
make sure next time that you do your burnouts immediately after finishing, because your viewers are begging for them as soon as you cross that finish line.
I'll make sure that happens next time.
All right, Parker Johnson. Thank you, buddy.
Yep, thank you.
All right, everybody. There's Parker Johnson. He got it done. He definitely got it done out there and really made it happen. Guys, don't forget to check us out at simtracksbroadcasting.com. I appreciate you guys joining me here in the chat. Plenty of you guys out there talking. A lot of things going on there. Diane Foxworthy, I tried to get him at the finish line. He was about 13 seconds ahead on that race win there, so I was kind of battling back there for the third. I did try to get you a quick replay of him coming through the finish line there. Fantastic job by Parker Johnson, Justice Murphy, and Trevor Earhart. Really, it was really a hell of a race from a lot of these guys out here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a last look at our race. Race here, what these guys got going on here. Sorry about that. I've changed it up a little bit so everything looks a little bit differently. So you kind of figure out where your favorite driver was and how they ended up placing here tonight. As we see Parker Johnson, Murphy Earhart, 1, 2, and 3. Kevin Orlando into the 5th. Steve Sommer, man, he tried his best to try to run down Earhart, but just didn't have enough. Grant Thorpe into the 6th. Caleb Gilbert in the 7th. Jeremy Burns, the Mountain Man, in an 8th. Robert Rader into 9th. One of his worst showings here, but not too bad. Good to see there's a soft spot in that 53 car. And Jacob Surkovich finally getting his first top 10 here tonight. Really a lot of guys getting spread out and a lot of fast cars out there that you wouldn't expect seeing falling back as far as they did. Unfortunately, it looks like John Fike in the end, and I believe Adam Bowden as well. These guys ended up kind of totaling out of the race, but really road courses are hard. They are difficult, and it is not easy by any means for these guys to get it done. Once again, appreciate you guys joining us here tonight. Boy, what a fantastic race it was. Like I said, just a pile up from out of nowhere. I'm at a loss for words, but guys, don't forget to tune in. Next week we have really one to show at Pocono for these guys to get a good run. They're going to have a lot in store to figure out what they want to do and how to make it happen. But we'll have to see how they can get it done once again at the Racing Revolution. Brought to you by Chapman Environmental Services, Butt Kicker, and Ultimate Siding and Gutters. Don't forget, this was also brought to you by All About Bugs, right, Stella?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're getting bugged, bug them.
All right, and then we'll be in for the Coastal Financial 200 next week, guys, at Pocono. Don't forget to tune in. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Be well, be safe, be kind. Bye, guys.